checking out our N54 water pump change how-to. It's not very detailed. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up in the comments or email us, message us, whatever it takes. Check out Williams-Olson Tuning on Facebook. Share this video, like it, help us grow, and enjoy the video. Yeah, it's broken again. This time, N54 gets a water pump. Alright, that took way too long to get on the jack stands. This thing, I need a lift. This ain't gonna work for very long. Took all the wheels off, gotta do the water pump. I think I have to drop the front subframe. Gonna have to reposition my jack stand some. This one's not even touching. Water pump's there. Not a very good spot, but whatever. But I'm gonna go through this whole car, kind of look at everything, see what I see, get a parts list together for things it needs, and get something together for things I want. Gotta go through this car for sure. This sensor here, I think it's for the headlight level sensor. It's busted. It's supposed to be lined up. That arm's busted. This arm might be bent, I'm not sure. Need to look at a new one, see what it looks like. Needs an oil pan seal. Just something in the transmission's leaking on the front. Probably the transfer case is leaking. This car's a mess. I think it got neglected for a long time, way before I got my hands on it. So again, I get to inherit somebody's problems. But we'll get it fixed, take you along for the ride, and maybe we'll all learn something. Have to pull the subframe to get the water pump out, so I went ahead and got this from Amazon. 89 bucks, pretty decent. I don't like how it pivots here. The rail kind of does this. It's gonna hold okay though, but here we go. Let's get started. The antifreeze, the radiator drain plug, is up above this. It has an aftermarket intercooler on it. I'm not sure what it is. Burger Motorsports probably. There seems to be quite a few of those parts on this car, or at least a couple. So we'll drop the intercooler first, get the coolant draining, and then we'll start working on unbolting the subframe. Cut the intercooler off, getting ready to drain the antifreeze right now. Get my giant funnel. It's actually Chris's, but whatever. The intercooler was pretty easy. It's just a nut here, and then the T-band clamps for the charge pipes on each side. Pretty simple, not too bad to get to. Here's your coolant drain right here, right on the bottom of the radiator. I'm gonna try to do this without getting too wet, but we'll see what happens. Probably gonna get wet, and it's not warm. Let's see what happens. Maybe there's nothing in it. It's been leaking pretty bad. Oh, there's some. Here it is. That tastes horrible. Alright. Now we'll pull the cap off the reservoir, see how much worse that gets. Oh no! Gross. Well, that won't be too bad. Won't make too big of a mess. Give this a couple minutes to drain, and then it's time for the subframe. Alright, so I've been looking at the car for a little while, trying to figure out a plan easiest way to get the subframe out. So I had to pull this air filter so I could get to the motor mount. That's the nut there, that rusty one. There's one on the other side too. Probably can't see it very well. That's not too bad. You won't be able to see it on the camera, I don't think. Probably gonna take a swivel socket. It's right there. In between there. Can't quite see it. Just out of frame on underneath this charge pipe. Shouldn't be too bad with a swivel joint and a couple extensions and an impact. I think they're 17 millimeter. I got my engine support bar on. So here we go. Engine mounts. There's 6 bolts. I think it's 6. I'll have to count them later. To hold the subframe here, 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 and then the same places on the other side. I'm going to disconnect this bar from the knuckle, and there's another bar here from the knuckle. And the steering rack is bolted to the subframe. I'll show you that later. I'll unbolt it so the steering rack will stay up with the engine so I don't have to deal with any of the hoses. And the whole knuckle and strut will stay with the car, and the whole subframe will drop down. Shouldn't have any issues, but there's always issues. Alright, I used to like this car. Not really a fan anymore. Yeah, German engineering, woo! They suck. This is not a good car to work on. I don't know. Maybe this should have stayed with the subframe. I don't know. There's lines attached to it. I'm not trying to take them off. This coolant line, plastic, easy to break. Couldn't tell, was bolted here and here to the subframe, and also there. I don't know why they'd worry about attaching it there. Doesn't make any sense. What else? Oh, the steering rack had a heat shield for some reason around it. I guess water pumps get hot. But here it is. It went under this. It was bolted here. I just ripped that bolt out real quick and bent this. That shield might come out. That's ridiculous. Oh, that motor mount's junk. That one, yeah, that one's okay. Oh, okay, well, I have to do that motor mount. But subframe's got to come back out anyway for the oil pan leak. I don't have the parts, or I don't even have the money right now. You can see all this oil. It's really nasty. It's all the way down the car. You can see the exhaust is shiny all the way back to here. That's oil. The fun thing about this car, since it's all-wheel drive, this axle, passenger side axle, actually passes through the oil pan and then into the differential. I don't know how well you can see, but yeah, the axle goes into the differential here, through the oil pan, through this housing, support bearing, and then over to the wheel. So yeah, German engineers do some cool stuff. Then they do some really dumb stuff. Oh, in case you were wondering, that's the water pump there. So the steering rack was like here-ish, right under that. And then just forward of that, all this basically was covered with the subframe. There's no way you're getting that off without taking the subframe off. And the problem it actually has, the pump, it's an electric pump, it's still working, but right around here, I can probably show you once I got the pump off, there's a little hole, like a little crack. I think it's right there. This lighting's really poor, but yeah, this little composite housing has a crack or a hole in it. And once the car warms up a little bit, it literally was squirting out. So next is a couple hoses here, little spring clamps. It's so dark. Hose here, spring clamps, and then I'll probably pull the hose off of here. This is the thermostat housing, and then there's hose here as well. Pull the thermostat housing off. I think it's these 2 bolts. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I've got the new parts on my bench. I'll show you those in a minute. So take thermostat housing off, and then I think there's another hose up here. I'm not sure. We'll look into it a little bit. Unplug it, bolt here, and I think there's one that'll be up above the thermostat housing. E10s, I believe. And then get this pump off, check out the new parts, and put everything back together. Hopefully, let's see, it's Saturday. I'm hoping I can finish this Sunday, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So this is the kit, water pump change kit I ordered from FCP Euro. Again, lifetime replacement on all of this when you order through them. Comes with a gallon of genuine BMW coolant. I'm going to pick up some distilled water to mix that with. Always use distilled. Thermostat housing. I think they're known to fail. I don't know if the housings crack or if the thermostats go bad, but there's the thermostat housing. New water pump bolts. I think they're a different length. The factory water pump has isolator bushings in it, and the replacement, I believe, does not. It's a different length bolts from the factory. I think this has already had the water pump replaced once. Very nicely packaged. Look at that. So there you have it. There's the new pump. It sits just like this on the block. Alright, it's Sunday. Tomorrow. Today. Been out here for probably 40 minutes maybe. I got the thermostat housing pulled. It's here. Wasn't too bad. Got the water pump out. Not happy about that. $400 because of a cheap piece of plastic. That could have very easily been made out of aluminum. Would have never cracked. But whatever. So time to clean up my mess. I missed my drain pan a little bit, a couple times. There's my cat. Anyway, get my mess cleaned up and start putting the new stuff back in there. Hopefully we got this thing running today. Alright, water pump's in, subframe's in, suspension's buttoned up, wheels are on. Gotta torque the wheels before I take off anywhere, but as you can see, it's still off the ground. So, getting ready to do the startup. I've got coolant in it and everything. Here goes the startup. If I can get in. Ooh. I used a vacuum system to suck down the cooling system so there was no air in it, and then filled it up with 50-50 coolant and water, and should be no air in the system whatsoever. Here we go. Turn my heat on so I know it's working inside the cabin. Leak check. So far so good. Hey, thanks for watching. Check out one of these other videos on this car or some of our other projects. Also on the test drive, this car has a blown head gasket, so later on check out our video for head gasket repair and oil pan gasket change. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.